used to take life advice very seriously, like disturbingly seriously. If someone said it in a calm voice and they looked vaguely put together, I assumed that it was correct and I rearranged my life accordingly. This was my entire vetting process. It's like taking tax advice from a raccoon. I did what was supposed to be mature. I stayed longer. I tried harder. I waited for the part where it all clicked and I felt wise instead of just tired. Hey, I'm Sheila. I'm not a coach. I'm not a guru. I'm just your internet auntie with mileage, receipts, and a growing allergy to sentences that sound encouraging and end in burnout. I have a talent for following the rules and still getting played. I am extremely coachable in the wrong direction. There are a handful of lines that I used to say automatically, just reflexively, like verbal muscle memory. And one day I caught myself halfway through one of them and I realized, oh, I don't even believe this anymore. I felt my own soul look at me like, girl, are you serious right now? Ooh, I've just been repeating it because that's what grown-ups do, right? I realized I was perpetuating the bullshit like a little neighborhood dealer of disappointment. What I didn't realize yet was that none of those sentences were meant to help me grow. They were meant to keep me usable. I'll share that with you later. So let's talk about why these lines became popular, why they sound so good, and why they can potentially wreck you for listening. Let's start with, you can be anything you want to be, which sounds lovely, and it's immediately incorrect. Because no, you can't. That sentence is like handing someone a map that just says good luck. No landmarks, no exits, just vibes. I want to be a lottery-winning princess professional hip-hop dancer who never has to answer emails. And that's just not on my life path menu. I can't work at NASA. I can't be Beyonce. You probably can't either. And that's not a mindset issue. That's math. And math has never cared about your dreams. This advice got so popular because it sounds empowering. It feels kind. It feels like encouragement instead of limitation. It makes adults feel generous without having to explain reality. And sure, it's cute when you're 8. It gives kids permission to imagine. It gives people a little courage to try something new. But in adulthood, it turns into a setup. It's like being told the maze has no walls and then getting shocked when you hit one face first. Because once you believe you can be anything, every wall you hit feels like a personal failure instead of a mismatch. You don't think that, oh, maybe this just isn't for me. You think, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I totally screwed up my destiny. It quietly removes the idea of fit. It erases timing, access, aptitude, luck, and plain biology. That sentence doesn't empower you. It hands you a stick and waits for you to hit yourself with it. It doesn't make you brave. It makes you blame yourself. And blaming yourself is how you end up turning joy into something that you have to earn. Now, if you're honest, which sentence do you use to explain away something that was actually just wrong for you? We've got 4 more to go, but I'm curious if you could name yours. Let me know in the comments. Then the next one for me is follow your passion, which sounds lovely until it becomes a job requirement. This one sounds romantic. This one sounds like purpose. This one smells faintly of graduation speeches and fresh printer ink. And again, there is a kernel of truth in it. Curiosity matters. Interest matters. Enjoying something is not a character flaw. But telling people to follow their passion is a great way to turn the thing they love into some kind of performance metric. Because the second passion becomes work, it stops being a feeling and starts being an obligation. Now you're not just doing the thing, you're proving that you love it enough to do the thing. You're monetizing it, you're staying enthusiastic even when it gets boring, hard, repetitive, or political. A lot of people didn't lose their passion, they just turned it into labor and then wondered why they stopped loving it. And that's when effort gets promoted to the whole damn plan. The next toxic saying is hard work pays off, which I really wanted to believe. Sometimes hard work does pay off, but not always, not reliably, and definitely not evenly. Effort can build skill. It can create momentum. It can open doors, but it can also be exploited endlessly. This advice got popular because it makes the world feel fair, right? It gives us a moral storyline. Work hard, be good, try your best, and eventually the universe will notice. But hard work doesn't cancel bad systems. It doesn't override bias. It doesn't protect you from being used by people who are thrilled you keep showing up early and leaving late. This sentence convinces people that if they're struggling, the answer is always more effort. Try harder, stay later, be better. It never asks whether the structure itself is broken. It just keeps handing you another shovel. So instead of asking whether the structure works, you just work harder inside of it. Like maybe this time the vending machine will cough up something different. At some point, walking away starts to feel like failure, and quitting is no longer an option. That's the toxicity of the next one. Never give up. That little gem slides on in here and locks the door behind you. This one is dangerous because it sounds noble. It sounds heroic, like something that you'd embroider on a pillow right before you suffocate under it. Slowly. Never give up turns endurance into a personality. It doesn't care what you're enduring. It just wants you to keep doing it with a better attitude. Sometimes quitting isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's just the most emotionally mature move in the room. It's the moment that you stop pouring yourself into something that has shown you exactly who it is. Never give up keeps people stuck in roles, relationships, and systems that are clearly done. It makes suffering feel meaningful, even when it's just unnecessary. This sentence reframes leaving as weakness, even when staying is actively harming you. It convinces people to cling to things that are clearly over because suffering feels noble and walking away feels like failure. Persistence isn't impressive if you're persisting in the wrong direction, people. And whenever doubt finally gets loud enough that you start thinking maybe something's wrong, this last one shows up to pat you on the head. All right, you'll understand when you're older. God, this one is just a lie. I'm sorry. It just is. This sentence exists to dismiss discomfort in the present. It teaches you not to trust yourself now. It tells you that confusion means immaturity instead of information. It delays clarity by turning it into a future reward. It's incredibly convenient for people who don't want to explain themselves right now. Understanding doesn't automatically arrive with age. Ask me how I know. What arrives is context. What arrives is experience. What arrives is the ability to say, oh, this felt wrong because it was wrong, not because I was too young to get it. Waiting doesn't turn nonsense into wisdom. It just delays the moment that you name it. Here's what I see now. All of these sentences serve the same function. They keep you operational. They turn discomfort into a personal development project. They turn structural nonsense into a self-improvement assignment. They make you responsible for tolerating things that should have been questioned much, much earlier. They work best on people who care, on people who try, on people who want to be good and reasonable and worthy of approval. They're very polite lies, and they cost people years of their lives. So, if you follow this advice and you still ended up tired, that doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you believed something that sounded nice and did not hold up under pressure. And honestly, that's not a flaw. That's just what happens when you trust sentences more than your own lived experience. I did. I paid for it. Do not recommend. There's another lie that I told myself that got really uncomfortable really fast. There was another habit hiding under all of this, one that felt hopeful, polite, responsible. It sounded harmless. It sounded patient. It sounded like I was being reasonable. It was actually the thing that kept me stuck the longest. That's the part that we're going to get into next.